Don't worry.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another fantastic virtual tasting with Becker Vineyards. Just a quick kind of extra special introduction this week because we have some extra fantastic people joining us for the first time. So my parents are joining us all the way from their place in Iowa. So my mom, Kate, and my dad, Bill, are both on the tasting tonight. Kaylin Hall is, of course, joining us again tonight, and her mom is joined with us because she's at her mom's house in Amarillo. So they're joining us from there. And of course, John Leahy, since our moms are on, he decided to get very dressed up and look the part of our winemaker. And he is on with us tonight as well.
What winemaker wears a tie to work?
I don't know, John. It's freaking me out. So
like a Hawaiian shirt or something at least. What's going on there?
And we've got three fantastic wines to take through tonight. We're going to start with the 2016 Grenache Reserve. Then we're going to do the 2017 Inferno. And then we're going to finish with the 2015 Malmsey, which is one that we have not done on a virtual before. So I'm excited for us to try through these. Kaylin and I kind of had some help in picking these, and we felt like these were three wines that reminded us of Christmas. So here we go.
Well, fantastic introduction. I certainly hope somebody joins us for this and gives us nice questions.
Yes.
The day before Christmas.
I
just
Before the day.
what? Well, it's
the
a
day
great
before the day before.
And by the way, I want to say welcome to the moms and dad. So welcome, family. And you know, and by the way, Kate, I absolutely love your comments all the way through all these tastings. And, you know, I'm a big fan, so I always look on Facebook to see if you're writing anything, and then I totally make something up and let Rebecca know that you're mad at her. So. And Kaylin, how are things up in Amarillo? And how's your mom doing?
Well, we're doing well. It is very windy outside, and that seems to have gotten the dog all riled up. So we may be muting off and on to make sure that we can keep the peace here and not just overwhelm everyone.
Well, oh yeah, absolutely. I don't want to welcome your mom, Belinda, too. Belinda, thanks for joining us and taking the time.
Thank you, John.
Absolutely. So everybody prepared
for 39th week to join you.
Oh yeah, I think this is great. So be prepared. I'm going to ask favorite Christmas foods. We're not just going to do food pairings.
Not a problem.
Maybe Duck Three Ways is off the shelf, just in case anybody was thinking about using that.
Seems odd.
I know, right? But
and a very odd rule.
It's Christmas time. It's the holidays. I mean, you know, we've got in this month, we have Christmas, we have Yule, we have Hanukkah, we have New Year, we have Kwanzaa, we have, I love Festivus, but that's just from the comedy show that I love the most. But I just think that this month is absolutely fantastic. There isn't a culture in the world that doesn't have a winter celebration. So, so we've got to have favorite foods and favorite activities. But the first thing, and my favorite, is a glass of wine to go with great company. So if you all have your 16 Grenache poured in a glass, give it a swirl, a sniff, and a taste, and let's toast the holidays. And sorry, I just looked over at the Facebook comments. Okay, I'm already getting a ration for wearing a coat and tie. So Gary, I'm sorry it made you late. You had to go put on your coat and tie. So,
I might ask you to put on mine.
We're taking holiday pictures right after we get done with this. So I was told I had to look nice for the picture. So,
Hi, Jody.
she's actually still writing reports. So Bill, Kate, we're going to start with you guys. What do you think of the 16 Grenache?
Go ahead.
Well, I love it. It's really deep fruit. It reminds me of a kind of a fruitier cab. It's I don't know, I really like it a lot.
Good. Bill, any
It's kind of dry, fruity.
Okay. All right, Kaylin, Belinda, you're up next.
Okay, so there's a dog in the background, so we're just hoping that
He's
quiet
fine.
for a bit. Okay, you go on the Grenache, Mom.
Okay, Grenache is probably one of my favorite red wines of all time. I first drank it in Spain. I love it. So I was super excited that we got my favorite wine today for Christmas. It's like an early present. And John, honestly, you make an amazing Grenache.
Oh,
And I
thank you.
drink a lot of wine. And
I'll
Grenache.
join you there. I've had a glass or two this month.
This year.
Exactly. So what do you think, Kaylin?
Oh, it's a beautiful Grenache.
Mhm.
I often overlook this wine, unfortunately, just because we have so many different wines that we produce at the winery. And this one, when we were thinking about Christmas things, I was like, this one just feels like Christmas. And now that we've got it open and I've got a giant cheese board in front of me, it is beautiful, fantastic. And I'm excited to eat it or drink it with dinner as well today. Eat it with dinner.
Yeah, eat it with dinner is fine,
It
Kaylin.
works.
Just freeze
It
it
works.
and it make a slushy out of it.
It's true.
So, Rebecca, what's your take on the 16 Grenache?
Well, when Kayla and I were talking about these, one of the things that we both really liked about this Grenache was that sort of baking spice
Mhm.
on the nose. And I think you get a little bit of that on the palate as well, but that just sort of very, it just really does remind me of almost like a gingerbread spices and those types of things and that you smell in the kitchen around this time of year. And that was one of the things that we both kind of picked up on this wine. I think it has a remarkably smooth finish to it. And I really do like that because you get the grapefruit, you get that little bit of spice. And then on the finish, it's just very, very smooth and just kind of lingers very delicately on the finish, which I really, really enjoy.
I enjoy it too. We got to unfortunately give out a shout out to Rachel and tell her she did a damn good job with the Grenache in 16. So
Yes, she did.
yes, she did.
Good job, Rachel.
Don't now everybody don't go off and call on her and tell her she's doing a good job. I get a big head and everything. So we like to keep her like a mushroom in the dark and in the cellar. No, she did a fantastic job. So the thing I enjoy about this Grenache when Rachel and I go up to Drew's vineyard, when it's almost perfectly ripe, you can actually smell it walking into the vineyard. It's just a brilliant grape, and it's a grape that gives Drew all sorts of fits and fizzles, which is kind of fun too as the grower. And a big shout out to Drew. Every year there's some great thing to overcome for these growers, and I really think Drew probably has forgotten more about grape growing than most of us know about grapes at all. I mean, he's got everything under that noggin of his about making great fruit. So the Talent Vineyards is just a fantastic place to get fruit from. And no, you can't raise the prices, Drew. So by the way, I'm getting shout outs to everybody here. Kaylin and Belinda, somebody just, Debbie Stavenhagen.
Yeah.
Stavenhagen, I don't know how to say that. So
Yeah,
I apologize, Debbie, if I butchered your name. So
everyone does. It's okay.
yeah, no, listen to you, it's okay. If she knows where you live, you better say it's not okay.
She does. She's my best friend.
Okay.
She'll be fine.
Right.
She'll be fine.
Just give her a piece of pumpkin pie and a hot latte.
Mhm.
We got
Or a glass of
plenty
wine.
cheese and wine, it'll all.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go on though, I really, since it is Christmas, I warned you guys before we went down this road. What are some of your favorite holiday foods? So what holiday food specifically that you all make at your house or that you have a memory of would you pair with this Grenache? And we're going to start with Kaylin and Belinda.
Gingerbread.
Gingerbread out the
My
Right.
gingerbread cookies.
Your gingerbread cookies? Ooh, I'm good with that. That's a full meal right there. Gingerbread cookies and wine.
Yes.
Well,
That's
he
a
also
great
makes
pick.
really great candies, homemade candies. So we've got like homemade Reese's, homemade Mounds, and some kind of peanut butter cookie contraption covered in chocolate. It's beautiful and fantastic. So all of the Christmas desserts.
For the Grenache. Okay, that sounds good. Rebecca, what would you do?
No. We tend to sometimes have sort of an odd dinner for Christmas. We have very traditional Thanksgiving meals, and then Christmas can be kind of different. I think, I know this would go really great with a beautiful honey ham. It would go really well with that.
Mhm.
But I also think it would go really great with a great pork chop, bone-in pork chop. I think would go really well with this.
Okay. Now, are you going to do pork chops for the holidays?
Me, I'm
Yeah.
gonna eat cinnamon rolls on my couch.
So would the Grenache go with a cinnamon roll?
Yep.
Yes, it would.
Oh, okay. So Bill, Kate, any favorite holiday foods that you would pair with this?
Well, I think cured ham is very good.
Okay.
Very good, very tasteful.
We have ham balls a lot of times for Christmas, but I like the Almsy with ham better than this.
Mhm.
I like Kaylin's mom's. Is it Belinda?
Yes, it's Belinda.
Belinda's idea of the gingerbread cookies. I also make gingerbread cookies every year, and I think it'd be great with that.
See, I think I'm going to need gingerbread cookies from the both of you so I can judge them with this and see which one goes best with the Grenache.
I can do that. We gotta do a good comparison. It's research and development.
Exactly. R&D. It'll help me make better wine. Okay. Somebody out there. Oh, Jet's saying lobster and steak. Okay, Jet.
To each their own.
Exactly. So my friend from North Carolina, Sarah, is on. So everybody needs to give her a hard time and just, say randomly silly things to her.
Hi,
So-
Sarah. We're so grateful that someone has befriended John. It's so nice of you.
Can I tell you how the first day I met Sarah? I will remember this day forever. This was a long time ago. And no, Sarah, I'm not going to tell everybody how old you are, but you're well past your 21st birthday. She wasn't 21, and I was bartending at this resort in Colorado, and she handed me this ID that looked nothing like her. She goes, I just wanted to give you this so you know that I'm a staff member here and I can drink at the bar. And I'm like, okay, no.
Got to get a better fake.
Exactly.
Not that I ever had one, Mom.
Not that.
Hey, I had one too.
Oh my God. No, it's funny. I was never carded when I was 17 and walked into a liquor store and bought stuff. Not that that's here nor there. But so moving on before we all incriminate ourselves.
Further.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry, Kaylin, your secrets are safe with us. We won't tell your mom anything. Except you should make your mom that lentil stew, and that would go great with that Grenache.
Ooh, I forgot my Instant Pot. That was the real kicker this time.
What did you
Oh.
bring to your mom's house?
Wine, a
Wine?
lot of wine.
You
I
brought
brought so
wine.
much wine.
That's fine. That's the most important thing.
Wine and you. Those
Yeah,
are the
make
two important
myself.
things.
Who needs half of their luggage when you bring booze? You got to
That's
have
right.
Seriously.
Oh,
pajama pants for the house. It's perfect.
Get your pants every time.
We're in a pandemic. She didn't need dress clothes.
That's
She's
right.
good.
I think Gary's flirting with your mom because he said, "What? You guys aren't sisters?"
No, I'm like at least 14 years older than her.
Kaylin, you were born in Arkansas? Oh, okay. Let's move on before I lose my job. So,
If that hasn't happened by now, John, I think we're good.
Yeah.
all righty. So the Inferno, if you're just joining us, we just went through the Grenache, which while everybody's getting set up for their Inferno, if you haven't yet. So the Grenache comes from the Talent Vineyard in Mason County. Drew Talent's the grower, and absolutely fantastic fruit up there. And there is something in that soil, and I love the fruit out of Mason County. It's just absolutely fantastic. So
Can I ask what you bottled this in?
I'm sorry.
What kind of oak do you use?
Oh, on the Grenache, the Grenache itself went into all American oak. There's a little bit of a couple of other things in there, just a small percentage. There's a dash of Merlot and a dash of Cabernet in there, and those both saw French oak, but there's not a high percentage of either one of them in there. It was more or less as a blending component for the back end palate. That Grenache has got a lot of nice acid and structure to it. It's a lot of nice fruit. And I know Drew, every year, he's always very concerned about the color on the skins. And Grenache can give a grower fits, but it always comes out so beautiful. But the grapes are quite a bit larger than Bordeaux varietals. It's a very large grape. It's almost the size of a table grape at times. And so there's a lower skin to juice ratio. So what we do is we bleed off quite a bit of that Grenache juice and use that in the rosé program. And that increases our skin to juice ratio for the red wine end of the Grenache. And we get a lot of really good structure out of that. We also take some of his Grenache and do a direct press for our rosé. So we use it in a couple of different ways at the winery, but any red still wine gets aged in American oak from the Grenache.
Okay.
All righty. So Sam is, okay, Sam's made a couple of comments that I've missed. And Sam, I do enjoy your comments sometimes. I'm sorry if I haven't responded. But if anybody has any questions specifically about the Grenache or the upcoming Inferno, please go ahead and type them up. Be happy. And there's not nearly enough people online giving Sarah enough grief. So we need to give her more grief. Anyway, so we got our Inferno. Rebecca, you want to lead us off on this one?
Sure. I'm trying to decide which glass I prefer it in.
Which one's this?
I'm trying to decide which glass I like it better in. So.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
This is always a fun thing that I get to do that I never would have done. I have so many dirty wine glasses in my house because of this.
They have a thing called soap and water.
Yeah, but by the time I'm done trying to figure out which glass I prefer, it's
Are you still storing clothes in the dishwasher, or was that the oven?
That was the oven, but remember now I cook, so it's totally different. But I got an Instapot, so I might start using the oven for storage again because I hear that's going to just revolutionize everything I do. Anyway, the Inverno. So one of the things that I love about this particular vintage of Inverno is the fact that it is this wonderful blend of all these different varietals, but all of these varietals are from, this is all Hill Country AVA. So it's got a really nice blend of different varietals that you can kind of see what we can grow in the Hill Country and what does really well here. Traditionally, this is a wine club member only wine, which is also always fun when we send these out. But this Inverno has just a really great nose on it that opens up the longer you kind of have this open and are swirling it, which I really, really enjoy. It's got some herbaceousness, but it's got that fruit up front too, almost like a blueberry on the nose. But then I also get sort of that mustiness that I really like, or that sort of forest floor portion, which I don't always get, all the time, but it's something that I really love when I do. It's definitely a multifaceted red wine.
Oh, it is. Absolutely is. Before I continue, I wanted to get back to one of these questions that just popped up from Elsie. The 2020 harvest for Talent's Grenache was fine. It was on the light side, but we got a fair amount. So we're really pleased with the 2020 version on there. And okay, Sarah, I'll bring it on. Not a problem. Challenge accepted.
So I'm getting a little bit more of the pepperiness in the Syrah glass than I am in the Pinot Noir glass, but I really love the wine out of both of these glasses. So I can't decide. I'm just gonna have to drink it out of both, I think.
Well, I love the pepperiness. I'm glad you hit on that note. In the Inferno, I really, really do on there. So Kaylin, Belinda, what do you guys get on the Inferno?
I like it. I mean, I guess I like wine, but no, to me, it reminds me of something that would be great with Italian food and a hearty bread and maybe lasagna or something. I'm hungry, I can tell. Everything's about food right now. But no, it's really good.
Well, I'm looking forward to the Christmas lasagna now that you say it.
Okay. I traditionally make one every year.
Perfect. To me, Christmas food is not just on Christmas or Christmas Eve. It's the entire week between Christmas and New Year. Yeah, and we can start all the way back in November if you really want to. So, and no, Kaylin, you can't go dark yet. You haven't answered. What do you think of the Inferno? I saw them trying to get out of that.
It's such a fun wine to talk about, one, just because the blend on it is so it's all Texas Hill Country fruit. You have so many different varietals thrown into it, but it is such a well-balanced wine. I do get like a lovely jamminess. I think that might be in part to that Barbera, but it is really well rounded as far as you get earthier components to it, like Rebecca was saying, beautiful pepper and spice notes. And I stole my mom's Syrah glass so I could do a comparison since I had the Pinot glass, and it's just so beautiful in any capacity, whether it's going to be a little bit softer out of that Pinot glass, a little bit richer. It's something that I want with like all of the snacks in front of me, but it's hard to eat on camera and still look like a lady.
There, you know what? You are a lady, and there's nothing to worry about eating snacks on the camera. So,
You're Lady Kaylin.
yeah, exactly.
I forgot. Gotta fix my
So, Kaylin, what's the one food, not well, any wine, what was the one thing food-wise you were looking forward to when you went home to visit your folks?
Oh my gosh, well, beef tender every time, beef tenderloin, always and forever. And that's what I want with this specifically. So I'm a little sad that we opened it tonight, but I guess I'll freeze it and save half of it for tomorrow.
Good point, right?
That's true.
For the tender too.
We've got some cap going on too. We've got all sorts of stuff for the beef tender. I only planned like 6 bottles for tomorrow for 3 of us. It's probably fine.
Probably fine. Okay. Well, let's go check in with Iowa. Kate,
Well, I get a dark fruity flavor to it. Like a plum kind of.
Plum. All right. Oh yeah. Kate, what do you think?
Well, I'm very swayed by everybody else's, what they say is the minute whoever said pepper, that's what I tasted. And I really like it. It's not quite as heavy as the but it's I love it. I love all these wines. I accidentally tasted them all before this tasting, and
Accidentally,
oh accidentally.
John, it was pure torture that I shipped these to her early because they were just staring at her at the house. She left them in the shipping box.
I did.
So she wouldn't open them.
Yes, I did. I had to. And then about an hour before the show started, I had to start tasting them a little bit to try to think of what I would say about them. And so I've had quite a bit. And sorry, Rebecca.
Oh, this is perfect.
We've met.
We need to pay you. I see Rebecca this red and forever.
Oh my God, it's cracking me up so bad.
Oh, this is great.
I'm trying so hard. I really think it would be good. I love pheasant, and I think this would be really good with pheasant. Did you even ask that? I don't know.
No, that's perfect. And you're absolutely right. It would be delightful with pheasant.
But I absolutely love all 3 of these wines. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to order some more.
Yeah, absolutely. Or you may know somebody at the winery. They should just ship you some. Yeah,
There you go.
exactly. You can always lay the guilt trip on her. Just say, I brought you into this world. What have you done for me?
Yeah. And she was a huge baby.
Hey now. Hey. All right, mom's cut off.
No, mom's on a roll. Oh, this is great. I love it. So besides pheasant, Kate, what else would you pair with the Inferno?
It's not nice to make people come up with more than one thing, John.
I put it on the spot because I want to get more stories about you.
No. Bill makes the best beef tenderloins.
Mhm.
And I think that would be great with it. I almost think anything with mushroom would be really good with it.
Mhm.
I don't know. Go to somebody else.
No worries, Bill.
Well, I make a good pot pie.
Oh, I
Chicken
didn't
pot
even-
pie, turkey pot pie. I
Yeah.
think this would go excellent with that.
Oh,
Oh,
Very
that-
good.
Yeah, you know, a pot pie, that is such a great food.
Mhm.
I wouldn't even think of that. That's awesome. So, Rebecca, you got to top your dad now.
So, I mean, if I'm going with a staple from childhood, it would be hamburger helper.
No, no, out. Sorry. Try again.
All right, Rebecca. She was 9 pounds and 12 ounces.
Where's the mute button for her? No, I with the Inverno, I definitely think I would like something a little bit heavier. Beef tenderloin, of course, sounds great. I kind of think that this would go. I also like the pasta choice, so I don't know. Maybe a really heavy spaghetti and meatballs might be kind of interesting with the Inverno.
I know the Inferno goes very, very well with rack of lamb, so it does exceedingly well with that.
As do all of our wines, John.
Well, apparently, according to my tasting notes, they do. Somebody likes lamb. I'm just saying.
It would be like if I wrote them and put duck for every wine.
And what's wrong with that? I mean, you guys give me so much grief. I just don't know how I get my work done. So somebody, it was Trish who said shepherd's pie. So as long as it's made with lamb, Trish, in the traditional method, then yes, not hamburger. So what notes specifically? Who's not talked about the notes on the Inverno? Has everybody gone through? Caleb? No,
You haven't at all, John.
You're the only one.
You didn't come with a food pairing either.
That's right, John.
Yeah.
Step up.
I'm just going to call you out.
All right, that's fine. I can tell you anything except lima beans, because lima beans are an abomination against the holiness of this planet.
I completely agree.
Apparently, I don't like lima beans. No, I think for the Inverno, as far as Christmas foods go, the Inverno does very well. That beef tenderloin, and I want some tips because I've got a 4-pound tenderloin in the fridge thawing out. I got it from Dutchman's. I picked it up, and I'm going to throw it on the grill.
That'll be good.
I think 4 pounds is enough for 2 people, right? I mean,
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. If y'all need help with it, I'll swing by on my way back home from Amarillo. You can just leave it in the yard for me. I'll find it.
In the yard.
Yeah, leave it in the yard.
Don't fight the cats away.
I've got this.
No. So the Inverno specifically, I absolutely love the Inverno with dessert. So I cannot lie. I'm going to tell you right now, the Inverno does very well with cold pecan pie.
Ooh,
Yeah. It does pretty well with pizza too, in case anybody's feeling really rambunctious. Go ahead and make a pizza and have it. But pecan pie, you've hit the pinnacle. So, yeah, somebody just said, I'll be over on Friday, John. Well, okay. Don't know if it'll be thought out by then. So any comments, anything else that jumps in your mind? Rebecca, you've had multiple generations of this wine, of our La Quattro.
Yes. Well, the Quattro Stagioni is one of those series that is always very interesting. You know, the fact that it started with 4 different Merlots, you know, from 4 different vineyards, I think was really a fantastic way to begin the series. But as it has developed, it's always something that is kind of fun and is kind of playful, is kind of how I like to look at this series of wines. And they're not like the Culinaria in that they're always kind of in the same vein, but they are in that they're different every year, but they're always this really fun, really vibrant, red wine. And they're not always a blend. So I really love when it's a blend personally, just because I think you get kind of this broader Texas wine palate understanding of what Texas wine really tastes like. So I really enjoy the blends, especially, which is why this is definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, and I really, the Barbera, which is one of the major components of this blend, comes from the Talent Vineyard up in Mason County. So Drew does such a beautiful job up there. And also we had a little bit of our Inverno from our vineyard up in Mason County, which is right next door to him. Well, before we sold it, but the Barbera also plays a very key part in the Culinaria. So on occasion. So that Barbera seems to underpin it with that fruit note. It just does such a great job with that. So most of these components, excuse me, were American oak. I think the Petit Verdot was the only thing that actually saw French oak. So that's such a very minor component in here. Again, not to go on and on and on about American oak, which I absolutely love, and I do love French oak too. Would the Inferno go well with a cigar? Yes, it would. As a matter of fact, I'm looking over at my humidor right now. Thank you for the idea. I'm thinking if you have a well-aged Padilla, you might do very well with that, with a Honduran wrap. It would be very nice and spicy. For those of you who enjoy cigars, I may actually enjoy them too. But I'm thinking, listen, look at you. Come on, Rebecca, you would enjoy a cigar with this wine.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying. And the next time your parents are down, I'm giving a cigar to your mom because now, oh yes, I am. Because I love her stories. Now I want a story from Belinda and from Kate. I want to know what these absolutely fantastic coworkers with mine were like as little kids at Christmas. What's your favorite Christmas memory of your daughter growing up? Yes, we're totally going on the family stories. Oh, this is awesome. And the more embarrassing,
Sarah, I'm going to get in touch with you.
I got one.
Okay, please don't embarrass me too much.
No. You're fine.
When she was about 3, 4 maybe, she was little. She was passing out the gifts and the whole family was around.
Look at her face.
Anyway,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
I have no idea. And I'm
So
terrified. I'm
she's
so sweaty.
walking around and she had a gag gift for my brother. And she ended up vomiting in the present when she was carrying the present to him. And special. So then we have like her in her little fancy Christmas dress for part of the deal. And then part of it, she's in an old t-shirt of my dad's because we had to change her clothes. And yeah, that's a special night.
It was Ken, you have nothing to worry about that one. And I'm sorry, but that's awesome. Oh, this is great. You know, we'll put it out there. If I suddenly disappear, ask Kaylin and Rebecca where the body is. So
You'll never find it.
You will never find it. There's a lot of room.
at that, I'm pretty sure Sarah could help you. Not to give away any secrets. So Kate, what's a great Christmas memory of Rebecca growing up?
Well, there's so many. We did find out that she opened every one of her presents ahead of time. And
You didn't find out for many years. I was really good at
yes,
it.
she was. We found out what a good pretender
Mm-hmm.
I do have a degree in
she
theater.
was. Yes, she does have a degree in theater. And but probably the biggest Christmas memory was the one that when she was probably, I don't know, 16 or 17. And we told her if she didn't help us decorate the tree,
What?
she would get coal in her
Your
stocking.
version of this story is so wrong.
He asked me, Rebecca.
Yeah, Rebecca, mute yourself.
Yes, you're on mute. And so Christmas morning, I don't know why she was surprised. She had coal in her stocking. Because she did not help decorate the tree. Now, we held out some decorations for her to try to make up, and then we would fill her Christmas stocking with something other than coal.
Okay.
But she wouldn't do it.
Weird.
So
I don't know where I get that stubbornness from.
That you were stubborn that young.
so she got coal in her Christmas stocking that year, and we've never heard the end of it, actually. Sorry.
Well, you know, coal is a perfectly wonderful substance, Rebecca. I don't know why you have anything against it. just from a geologic standpoint, it's amazing how that stuff is made. So
Yeah, it was charcoal briquettes.
hey, you know,
Hey, it
charcoal
counts.
briquettes are a direct result of the American auto industry. So there's a piece of history there. Plus, you can grill your duck breast now. So
It's fair.
your parents were just looking after you. So, okay, now before we go on to the Malmsey, you know, turn around is fair play in my book. So Rebecca and Belinda is gonna have Kaylin, and Rebecca, you're gonna tell a story on Kate. I want you a good story on Christmas growing up that you remember about your moms. But before we get there, we're gonna go to the next wine. So keep thinking.
Ruth.
Yeah. Okay. Does everybody have their Malmsey?
Getting it now.
Yes. So this is actually a particular favorite of mine. So this is the 15 Malmsey Muscat. So this was this wine was made from Farmhouse Vineyards Muscat, and then I also put just a touch of Viognier in there, and a tiny amount of Chardonnay, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. But this is predominantly Farmhouse, the Muscat. And this particular year, we did a wonderful experiment. So they had, in 2015, they had a very generous harvest of this Muscat, and there was no particular home. So they took the harvested grapes, the must, and froze it. There's a big commercial freezer operation up in Lubbock. And so they put them in these 300 plus gallon cubes, or 500 gallon cubes, I think they were, and froze the must. And then I took the frozen must several months later and thawed it out and used the thawing process to separate the water content from the heavier sugar content. So we got a spike in sugar. So basically we got the bricks that we wanted to for a late harvest up there, a very viscous liquid, leaving as much of the water behind. And then we did a very slow fermentation on this out in the sun. We left it in the barrel, not topped, and we left it alone for a couple of years. As a matter of fact, this wasn't bottled for several years, just till about a year and a half ago. So this had a lot of time to age and oxidize. And so it's kind of a hybridized version of a white port versus a Madeira style. So I want everybody to kind of pour and give it a swirl, sniff, and a taste. I've poured it into a traditional aperitif glass, which is the way I
Use their Christmas crystal, because we're festive today.
Absolutely. So Kate, you were saying that you really enjoy this. Let's go back to this. And you had mentioned that you would prefer this wine with the ham over a dry red. Why is that?
I don't know why that is, but I just think it would be great with the ham balls that we usually have for Christmas.
I think it would be great to use in the sauce for the ham balls as part of that glaze. I think it would be.
I just love the word ham balls. That's just awesome.
I
What is it,
know
like
what those
croquettes for
are.
ham, or
Nobody in Texas knows what ham balls are.
I tried to make them when I moved here, and I went to the store to get the things that I needed, and they looked at me like I was insane. So,
really? Excuse me, sir. I need to make some ham balls.
Yeah, they're
What are
fantastic.
your handball ingredients, please?
Yes. What are ham ball ingredients? Absolutely.
Ground ham, ground pork, crackers. I don't know
It's
what
basically
else.
making a meatloaf, but you're making like
With
forming
ham.
them into little balls with
Okay.
ground ham and ground pork.
And then
ground ham
a
and ground pork is difficult.
And then a sweet, like brown sugar and tomato sauce,
Glaze.
covering
Mhm.
Yeah,
glaze.
glaze.
Okay.
But this would be a great glaze
Mhm.
instead.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So how big are these ham balls? I mean, are they individual size? Are they big like a meatloaf size? I mean,
Small snowball size.
okay. So small
Hey,
snowball
we're
size.
from Iowa. I don't know. You guys don't know what snowballs are probably either.
Or at least the proper sizing.
Well,
That's right.
how do you serve a snowball versus a ham ball? I mean,
in the face.
So this is
All
awesome.
right.
Okay, so Bill, what do you think of the Malmsey?
I think it's very good. I love it with pumpkin pie would be very good with it. It's
Oh,
got
yes.
such a sweet flavor. And it doesn't seem to be too sweet. You know, sometimes you can get it with it's too sweet.
Mhm.
This is just about the right amount.
Okay.
Well, I
Well-
feel like a lot of times you'll get something that's only sweet, you know, where it might still be this sweet, but there's no other note to it. And that's what I really like about the ports and the dessert wines that John makes is it's not just that one trick pony of being just super, super sweet. There's other elements that go along with it.
So I'm better than a one-trick pony. That's always a great endorsement.
You know,
Yeah, good job.
By the way, Kate, my friend Sarah from North Carolina thinks you're awesome.
We want a handball.
You know,
They're
I've never
great.
had a handball. It looks ideal to me. If I could do it. We used to play handball at the University of Texas.
There you go.
Oh goodness,
I
we're having a lot
forgot
of
that
fun. I
my
don't know-
bosses were watching.
Sorry, Rebecca.
No, don't be sorry at all. This is awesome. And somebody asked who was on the label. Yeah, that is Bunny Becker on the label of the Clementine bottle.
Nathan, let me see my phone for a second. I need my phone.
Oh, okay. So, Kaylin, Belinda, what do you think of the Malmsey?
I'm going first. I love the Malmsey so much. So this is the third
I was building a starter.
version of the Malmsey, I guess, that I've had. And I've really enjoyed it every single vintage year. Just as a dessert wine, it does have so many different layers of flavor. It is it's really just a beautiful wine, and it's a fun wine to talk about because madeirization is such a interesting and different process than producing most other wines and all other wines that we have here at the winery. And I had it once with butterscotch budino and my life was changed forever. And so now the Malmsey is one of my favorite nightcaps and all of that. So the 2 months.
Again, I like this. This is a nice dessert wine. I think it would pair well with almost any kind of cheese. The soft cheeses probably in particular.
Mhm.
And it's a nice, it's not like syrupy sweet, like we were talking earlier about the corn syrup stuff and some of the Hungarian wines and stuff. And I love it because it's got so much texture and flavor and balance. And it's an amazing wine. This is the second or third one I've had of yours, John, and they are really good.
Oh, I'm glad
Always one of my favorites.
Awesome. Yeah.
A little lot, Joel. You know, I think what needs to be said about this, I remember when I was talking to Robert Mondavi about how to make this. And he said, well, to make a Madeira, you have to find someone who's willing to break every rule of winemaking. And John's name came to the fore. So you basically, you fill a barrel half full and you put it outside for 2 years and forget it. And John is excellent at that. And we had this wonderful result. So that's when you're thinking about this, that's the way to think about it.
Excellent results of me forgetting where the wine was, or
I thought we hid
Hiding
it from
it,
Dr. Becker.
what?
I thought we hid the wine from Dr. Becker.
That's the 2012 that's still in barrel and nobody knows where it's at.
I do.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So guys, I turnaround's fair play. So Rebecca, favorite memory of your mom and dad at Christmas time growing up?
No, so for me growing up around Christmas time, it was always tradition that we went to a Christmas tree farm and cut down our own Christmas tree. And that was always just a fantastic event that we did. And I really, really enjoyed that. And some of the memories from those trips are fantastic. I think they're probably funnier than maybe mom and dad do, because it was, mom would be like, this is the tree. And my dad would, dig snow out and crawl under the tree to get ready to saw it down. And mom would be like, no, wait, I actually think it's this one. This one's going to be the one. And so the dad would have to get back up and go there. And there was one year that I think she maybe did that 4 times to him.
No.
That one was, I don't think dad was quite as festive by the end of that tree picking
Really?
as the rest of us were.
Hard to be after that much work.
And
Exactly.
the thing that we always wanted was we always had a house that had like maybe 9-foot ceilings. So Mom and I love big Christmas trees. So we always got the fattest Christmas tree that we could because they couldn't be really tall. And if you've ever gone to a Christmas tree farm, they put the tree in this thing that shakes it, and it shakes the dead needles out, and then they'll bale it for you. Well, one of the years, the tree that we picked was so fat it wouldn't fit in the baler. They couldn't bale it. And we got it home, and it had you always want to check and make sure the trunk is straight, right? Well, this one, somehow we missed it, and the trunk was really crooked, and we had 30 pounds of sandbags on the Christmas tree stand to hold the tree straight.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, Kaylin, it's your turn.
So I don't remember how old I was. It was a number of years ago, and we were making a gingerbread recipe, and it may have been a large batch or something, but it definitely mentioned, be careful, it will rise. And in the midst of making it, it started rising, and it's never stopped rising, and it just kept rising, and like to the point, to the ceiling, like trying to beat it down with a spoon. And I think that's one of my favorites. Just absurd. Just out of control gingerbread.
Out of control gingerbread.
Packed by gingerbread dough.
That's awesome.
Yeah, when you added the baking soda is what made it rise. And I mean, it exploded like a volcano. It was nuts. I mean, I'm talking 4 feet above the pan. Yeah, it was nuts.
Joe, are you still there?
I'm here.
Can you give us a good Christmas memory growing up about your
well, I've got one, a great one about
No.
Buddy and I were planting grapes. No, that's another. Let's see. Joe was 3 or 4. He made his first Christmas card. He drew a picture of Santa, and he was going to write ho ho ho, but he spelled it O-H-O-H-O-H. So it was a picture of Santa saying O-O-O. And we sent it to all the relatives, so it was great.
Of course, absolutely.
I just wanted to say a few things. First, I wanted to say something to the people that have been watching this virtual tasting with us since the beginning of this pandemic, which is thank you. Which is thank you for joining our family. I'm going to put myself in the dark for a second because there's something I wanted to read that David Brooks wrote at the beginning of this. He said, "We're seeing the world with plague eyes now. We're all going through the same experience. People in Seoul, Milan, and New Jersey are connected by a virus. It reminds us of the fundamental fact of human interdependence. And doing things like this, going through this time with all of you that have been watching, has been an amazing experience." And I would transition that comment because I also want to say something about our staff and our employees at the winery. One of the truths of, one of the well-kept secrets of medicine, of being a physician, is that much of the time we get more out of our relationships with patients, I think, than patients get from seeing us, from human interaction, from touching our patients, from being with our patients, from talking with our patients. And so every weekend, when I walk into the winery and I see all of our employees smiling and trying to continue the vision of my mother and father, I have to say it's very inspiring. And I think just to point out a few things, I would thank all of our staff. I know John will can name them by name if he has. All of our cellar crew, all of our crush crew, our vineyard crew. I would thank the mothers on this podcast for the wonderful things that their daughters have done for us, for our wine club, for putting together these wonderful virtual tastings throughout the year. I would thank, we don't see him, many of you don't hear from him, many of you don't know the thought that he's put into this, but I would thank our sales team and David Bryce, who has kept us going with other employees, other staff through this pandemic. John, I would thank you for the incredible dedication the incredible thought, your amazing palate, the fact that we've worked with you for going on 10 years, and whenever we walk in and say, what are we tasting? The answer is still either fermented grape juice, white wine, or red wine. But what you have done for Texas wine, what you've done for us, I cannot appreciate enough. I would say to our chef Michael and Sean, thank you. I would say to our tasting room staff, thank you. Chris, Nicole, I know it's been an incredibly hard year. You are members of our family. You were the first members of our family, and we think about you and what you've gone through, and we say Merry Christmas. And lastly, I would say, Brett, I just wanted to say, just like everybody else at the winery, we've asked a lot of you. We've asked you to do a lot of things that you wouldn't normally do because of the pandemic. And I think a lot of the staff, I think a lot of the employees don't see the incredible thought. And I would also say the incredible depth of heart that Brett has put into keeping the winery safe, keeping our staff safe, keeping our employees safe. So I just wanted to say thank you and Merry Christmas to everyone. And because it's Christmas, I have to say one thing in French because we have some friends in the Netherlands, which is Joyeux Noël et bonne année. Merci.
Lovely. Thank you, Joe. And I would add a second to that on Brett. He's always working behind the scenes, and as much grief as I give him throughout the year, he is the thread that holds this tapestry together. By the way, in case nobody has said it to you and Doc and Will and every member of your family, thank you. And I know we all enjoy working with you guys and working for you, and it is a wonderful place. So I, for one, am very grateful and happy, and I wish you all a very Merry Christmas. So
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And I hope this next new year is better.
Cheers to that.
Yes.
Okay. So
I'm still looking forward to the reunion.
Yeah.
Everything's open. I want to have the people who've been out here for 39 weeks, a meeting at the wine club and a gathering and almost like a little family reunion, because we've almost become family over these years, harassing you on the wine feed, your feedback, everything. And I think we all need to get together and have a party.
I think that would be a wonderful idea. And when we can, we will. Absolutely.
John,
As long as everyone's vaccinated.
Yeah. John, I also need to make sure that we mention that today is actually Angie's birthday. So my assistant Angie, who handles everything with our wine club members, she oversees the shipping with me. She's been doing this for the last few weeks with a broken ankle. And so today is actually her birthday.
Well,
so
may I add something about Angie?
Because thank you to Angie.
I absolutely love Angie, and congratulations on your 29th birthday, Angie. We're so happy you made it this far. And secondly, that broken ankle just proves one very important adage: never get in the way of a true Texas woman. She will let you know.
Wonderful.
So with that note, everyone, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and thanks for joining us for week 39. We'll see you again soon.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.